No namers, can I get an amen? Now, how about a hallelujah? Yeah! That's right. Folks, it's time for liftoff. Let's go.
8,
Lots to do.
6,
Mucho que hacer.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Come on, come on.
Ignition.
We got this.
Liftoff. Liftoff. 30 minutes after the hour.
Come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on. Get up there, man. Go.
Get ready.
There
Hold
it
on to
is.
your hat. Strap on
Yes,
your
yes,
seatbelt.
yes.
Fasten your
Yes.
seatbelts. Hold on to your hat.
And get ready for the ride of your life.
The show with It's show with no name time
On Vaughn Radio.
It's a show with no name.
Come on. Let's go. Yes. All right, amigos. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is time for another exciting edition of your favorite English extravaganza. It's the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. Welcome. Are you ready to learn? Are you ready to have some fun? Are you ready to laugh? Are you ready to sing along? Cantar conmigo? Then you came to the right place. And if you're a party pooper, you know this word? A party pooper. Aguafiestas, you say. Maybe this isn't the place for you. I'm just kidding. All people are welcome from every continent, every walk of life. You know this one? Walk of life es condición social. Lo aprendí en español el otro día. From every walk of life, every race, every creed, cada credo, anybody who has a love of learning, especially learning language, well, you came to the right place, folks. And as you saw yesterday, we're not just learning English here. We were learning some Italiano. Io sono un italiano vero. E mandami cantare. I gotta love the songs, gotta love the food, gotta love the language. All right, amigos, this is, what is it called?
You are listening to The Show with No Name on Vaughn Radio.
¿Te gustaría abrir puertas a nuevas oportunidades y estar listo para cualquier desafío? Con el máster de inglés del Grupo Vaughan podrás transformar tu futuro. Este programa intensivo te ayudará a dominar el inglés profesional, perfeccionar tu comunicación y ganar la confianza que necesitas para conseguir tus objetivos. Nuestros profesores Vaughan especializados te prepararán para afrontar en inglés todas las situaciones de comunicación en un entorno profesional. No dejes que el inglés sea una barrera. Invierte en tu futuro con el máster de inglés profesional del Grupo Vaughan. Llámanos al 91-133-5833 o entra en grupovaughan.com.
That's right, folks. Our masters is second to none. ¿Te sabes la expresión? O sea, segundo a ninguno. O sea, que it's number one. It's the Vaughn Masters, and you can get more information about it at grupovaughn.com/cursos destacados. If you want to find out all about our Masters program, check it out. Also, a quick reminder, we've got a special deal going on right now on our online course, nuestro curso online. It's $30. I mean, $30. Honestly, if I go have a couple beers, 2 beers with a friend, and a little something to eat. I'm not talking about a full meal. I've already spent over 30 euros and I've gotten nothing but a bloated stomach. Un estómago hinchado. It's a true story, true story. So what, as we say in English, it's a lot of bang for your buck. And to get a lot of bang for your buck, mucho boom para tu dólar. O sea, que da mucho con poco, ¿no? Recibes mucho. Vale la pena. It's the Vaughn online course. There are 3 different levels, beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And you can get one level, whichever level you choose to sign up for. You'll have access for a year. And for $90, honestly, like I said, you know your financial situation more than anybody else. But if you've got $90, 90, no llega ni a 100. O sea, I'm telling you, go into the movies. I spend more than that, unfortunately. Yendo al cine. Y somos tres. We're not talking about a big family here. I've got one daughter, remember, and a little cat, but he doesn't come to the movies. Imagine, people will be like, what the? Is there a cat in here? All right, amigos. So take advantage of that special offer. It's only going on until November 11th, 2024. So don't think it over anymore. No le des más vueltas. It's the Vaughn online course, and it's perfect for people who are into self-study. And speaking of self-study, you can find tons of materials too at our Vaughn Tienda, vaughntienda.com. And usually we look at our materials, different materials, in our pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yes, yes, yes. Pop, 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 pop. Come on. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. All right, folks, it is our pop quiz here on the Show with No Name. And as you know, amigos, this is where we never know what to expect, right? It can be a grammar-based lesson. It can be vocabulary. It can be phrasal verbs, idiomatic expressions, common mistakes, structure, no? Errores, like el presente perfecto continuo. So, as always, what you have to do here is listen up. Listen up es prestar atención. And this is from Conversaciones en Inglés. It's available at vaughntienda.com. There are 3. We love the number 3. Hey, there's nothing like a good trilogy, right? And, well, basically the same as the online course. You've got one for each level. Okay, so you've got beginners, and that's with Julia Nowitzki and Richard Vaughn on the cover. You've got number 2, I'm on the cover there with Richard Vaughn. And number 3, where Jimena Holiday is on the cover. And Jimena, I could swear she has a show on Vaughn Radio. What's the name of that show again?
Jimena will test your English.
Sing!
Yes, she'll test your English. Jimena will test your English with Nacho.
Sing it! Wow!
That's right, Test Your English is on Vaughn Radio every day at 12:30 with Jimena and Nacho.
That's right. It's Test Your English with Jimena Holiday. It's on right after this show. All right, amigos. Well, I want you to listen up This is from Conversaciones en Inglés 3. So this is from the advanced level. Well, why? Because I know you guys, and I know that you're totally native. So this is from level 1. Remember, these books, these materials, because they come with audio, as all our materials do, are available at Von Tienda for under $15. All right? So under $15, and you have got over 3 hours of audio. You've got tons of lessons, and it's worth its weight in gold. It's Conversaciones en Inglés, and it's available at vontienda.com. Let's listen, and then I'll have a challenge or two for you.
Hey, Soph, are you writing your politics essay?
Hi. No, I'm finished writing. Now I only have to read through it. What about you?
Lucky you. I haven't even started writing it yet. I'm still reading up on a lot of stuff. How come you always do everything on time?
I don't know. I guess I just like not having to study under pressure. But I think we're talking too loud around here. Should we go down to the cafeteria to have a quick coffee?
Yes, you're reading my mind. I went to bed at 5 o'clock last night and I really need to wake up.
So, how come you went to bed so late during exam week? Did you stay up reading?
No, not exactly. I had a few friends over from home and we went out to that new club. We had a great time, but now I'm starting to regret it. I can't concentrate on reading or writing with this hangover.
You're hungover, huh? Oh, Ben, I have the feeling you never learn from your mistakes. You had to read and write simultaneously last semester and could only barely hand in the essays on time. And you missed a few deadlines as well, didn't you?
You're right. But somehow I manage it every time, don't I? I have to admit, though, it's getting harder. I used to be able to just write away, but now it's difficult without doing the reading, and skimming through the books doesn't help much either.
Maybe it's none of my business, Ben, but we've known each other since the first day of Freshers Week. I don't want you to drop out, so if you're willing to listen to me, I'm willing to help you.
Well, define help. Can you give me your notes? I can write them out and put together an essay.
Are you serious? You don't get it, do you? I can help you plan your essay, help you plan your reading, and I can give you a hand with some of the writing. But the point is so that you can do it yourself the next time.
Thanks a lot, Sophie. But at the moment, I don't have time to plan anything. The deadline is tomorrow and I need to start writing now and can't do any planning. I think I've read enough now anyway.
I wasn't talking about this time. I was talking about how you can avoid this situation next time.
Yeah, thanks. That reminds me. Did you read my email about the big after-exam party at our house? That's what I call planning.
Ben, I'm going to go back up now. Good luck with the essay.
Have you ever caught the Orient Express, Vicky?
No, of course not. You have to be careful on that train. Haven't you heard about all the murders that took place there?
You're getting confused with a book, Murder on the Orient Express. It's a fictional story. I can't believe you actually thought the Orient Express was famous for its murders. As a matter of fact, it's a beautiful luxury train. I went from Istanbul to Paris on there a few years ago. It was a direct service too. No changes.
You mean it was a beautiful train? It's stopped running now. Times have changed. It's disappeared now in order to make way for high-speed trains. If you want to travel in a classy carriage, you should go to China or India. The trains are really modern, and the standard of service is among the highest in the world.
Yes, but to get a reasonably priced ticket to China, I have to fly from here to the United Arab Emirates, then catch another flight to Beijing. It hardly seems worth it. All that time just to go on a train that I've never heard of.
Anyway, you're taking Maribel to Easter Island, so you can both go and see those gigantic heads that they're famous for, aren't you?
They're called moai, and it's too much hassle to get there. You have to fly from Madrid to Santiago in Chile, and then from there catch another plane to Easter Island. The entire journey takes too long, and it's too expensive.
It's also a long way to go just to see some big heads. If I want to see a big head, I just drop by and pay you a visit. And if you want to see one, just look in a big mirror.
Oh, you're so funny. By the way, you know that Juliet's balcony really exists in Verona. Do you think that the famous balcony scene really happened there?
Hang on a sec. I've been to Verona and I've been to that balcony. There were dozens of tourists there when I went. Why go there to see Juliet's balcony if the story is totally fictional? It must have been used in a film or something.
The story of Romeo and Juliet isn't fictional. It really happened.
Come on, Nick. Do you really think I'm that gullible?
No, honestly, it did.
¿Conoces Weekend Town? La nueva iniciativa de Vaughan.
Pues no.
Es un fin de semana de inmersión en inglés. Y es nuevísimo.
A ver, cuéntame más.
Tendrás una inmersión lingüística total durante 2 días. Un total de 24 horas hablando con angloparlantes de todo el mundo.
¡Wow! ¡Qué interesante!
Ganarás confianza y soltura a la hora de comunicarte en inglés. Mejorarás tu comprensión auditiva y tus habilidades conversacionales en una situación de comunicación real en inglés. Ven a Weekend Town y te sorprenderás con todo lo que puede avanzar tu inglés en un fin de semana. Weekend Town de Vaughan. Un fin de semana de inmersión en inglés.
More information about Weekend Town and all the amazing initiatives we've got at grupovon.com/cursos destacados and materialsvontienda.com. What did you think of that? Cool, huh? Those are totally native conversations there. And we heard an Irish accent. We heard a British posh accent. The gamut. That's one of the great things, too, about Vaughan Radio. I mean, you've got Fitz. He's got an Irish accent. You've got Rob Graham's Northern England, not the same as Southern. Of course, it's just like the United States. There's North and South, but then there are many accents in the North and many accents in the South. We were talking about the New York accent the other day. The other day, we were talking about the New York accent. Got a kind of a bit of an attitude behind it, right? Hey, everybody's got their je ne sais quoi. We use that a lot. It means, yo creo que queda claro. Es yo no sé qué, no sé definirlo, ¿no? Esa cosa que te hace especial. All right, well, amigos, let's see what you got from those totally native conversations. Again, the material it came from is Conversaciones en Inglés. There are 3 in the collection. You can get them for $14.95 each, and over 3 hours of audio with classes, explanations, questions, exercises. Really a complete collection. All right. The first thing I want you to give me, and as always, I want you to use it in context, is a totally native way of saying to research, to study more about something, to look at it more in depth, en profundidad. ¿Ok? Aquí pone investigar, estudiar, documentarse sobre algo o informarse sobre algo. Esa es buena. Me voy a informar sobre la física cuántica, por ejemplo. Right? Good luck. Good luck. Your brain's going to explode. All right, so they said a phrasal verb there. Investigar, documentarse, to learn more about, right? To study more in depth, to become more knowledgeable about something. Okay? That's number 1. Use it in context. Use it in your own context. Are you right now informándote sobre algo? Documentando. A lot of times when the elections come, the American elections, pues la gente se informa. ¿Y qué es el voto tal? ¿Y cómo funcionan los estados? It's normal. It's current events. Current events is how you say actualidad, ¿no? Las cosas que están pasando en el mundo. De ahí, ¿no? Sacamos nuestras portadas. That's where we're getting our vocabulary from there as well. So that's why I urge you guys, even though be careful where you get your news, but obviously, if you read the newspaper or if you listen to or watch the news, don't do it in Spanish. Use it as an English lesson. So you're getting up to date on your current events and you're practicing your English listening. I think it's a win-win over there. All right, so the first one, a phrasal verb that means to investigate, to learn more about something, to actively take an interest in learning more about something. The next one, they said, he said something like, me fui a la cama tarde, pero no usó esas palabras. Do you remember the one he said? He used a phrasal verb. So, irse a la cama tarde. How could you say that without saying he went to bed early? Late, perdona, el inverso. He went to bed late. No quiero esa. Porque esa sé que lo sabes, ¿no? Creo. Ahora, cuidado, no se dice he went to the bed, porque no estamos hablando de la cama en sí, física. Estamos hablando del concepto, se ha ido a la cama, ¿no? Si dices su cama, entonces he went to his bed. Pero si lo decimos en general, ¿a qué hora vas a la cama? What time do you go to bed? Well, they said a different way of saying, me dormí muy tarde. Okay? Estuve despierto hasta muy tarde. Me fui a la cama muy tarde. You can translate it however you want. The idea is the same. You looked at your watch and you said, oh, tomorrow's going to be tough. Oh, me va a costar la vida mañana. We've all been there. That's why I like to put things into practical situations. That's why I like for you to personalize it. All right. And the next one, they also used a great phrasal verb, entregar, to submit something. No, tenemos que entregar cosas. I know with my daughter, okay, tenéis que entregar tal papel para ir a... So, very common in a classroom too. Entregar, it's a phrasal verb, okay? To submit something. All right, my amigos, you've got 3 challenges there in our pop quiz, which they've come right out of Conversaciones en Inglés, available at Von Tienda. Oh, by the way, BT Dubs, BTW, se puede decir BT Dubs. Did anybody go to the trivia night last night? I couldn't go. It was a long day. Let's put it this way. It was a really long day. And when I looked at my watch, I said, I'm not going to make it. Es que no llego, saliendo ahora. So I decided against it because I didn't want to run around anymore. I'm always running around. And, I hope it was fun. I know it was fun. I missed it. And today I woke up and said, man, I regret it. But also, I need a clone. I need one Alberto to do this part of my life, another one to do this part of my life. And then hopefully we can get everything done that needs to be done. So, estudiar, investigar, me gustó la traducción, informarse sobre algo. The next one, expresa la idea, me fui a la cama tarde anoche, sin decir I went to bed late last night. Okay? And the third one, usar en contexto el phrasal verb entregar, which another way to say is to submit. To submit. All right, let's take a look. We've got some students joining us in our virtual classroom. Good morning, students. The ones who bring the magic every day. All right, we've got Sophia in the house. I love that name. Sophia, I've always loved that name. Even before I knew it was the Queen's, the former Queen's name, and it was a royal name. I always loved it since I was a kid. Sophia. Beautiful name. Sophia says, hiya there, guys. What's up, Sophia? Great to have you with us. Chris Valrol, there she is, our model student, our movie queen. And she says, morning, dear show with no namers. Morning to you, Chris. What a pleasure to have you here. Laura as well. Wow. We're starting off with a bang. Empezamos fuerte aquí. Laura says, good morning, lovely show with no namers. Hacete mi cantare con la guitarra en mano. Just on a need. I love it. I don't sing it really well. I kind of make up the words. I do the what you. Love is in the air. What you. Hey, no digas que no lo cantáis así. Every time I look around, or I think it's everywhere I look around. Pero no es what you. All right. Also, guys, thank you. To everybody who has sent me birthday greetings. Tomorrow's the last day. I hate to rush you, but I want to get back to our normal question of the week. Okay? And the question of the week, well, I won't tell you yet. This way we don't mix things up, okay? I'll give you the question of the week for next week tomorrow. But you have until tomorrow if you'd like to send a birthday greeting, show off your English, or if you're like some of you, show off your singing skills in English. By the way, the messages are priceless. excellent messages. If you want to participate, send me it can be a minute, 2 minutes, whatever you need, 30 seconds, whatever you feel necessary, whatever you deem considerar necessary. And you can send it to aalonso@grupovon.com. And on my birthday, we will hear your birthday greeting. It's going to be a special show. If you'd like to participate, you have until tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with much more. So, say it with me, stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to part 2 of today's show with no name here on Vaughn Radio. All right, amigos. If you like challenges, you came to the right place, because I've got a lot of challenges lined up for you. Lots and lots. Muchísimos. We are going to kick off with today's Say What soundbite. Then we're going to check your pop quiz answers. And then we've got our spelling bee, homophones, name that movie, name that lyric, famous birthdays, double trouble, and so much more. And as if that weren't enough, you've got a plethora of other amazing programs here on Vaughn Radio, where English is exciting, interactive, informative, entertaining, eclectic, Energetic. Se me acaban las A's. Fill in the blank with your favorite adjective. This is Vaughn Radio. And folks, it's time for the Say What soundbite. Come on.
Say what? What?
Yes, yes, yes. Say what soundbite. Show with no name. All right. I've got to admit, this one's a tough accent for me. It's a tough one. Me cuesta, eh? A mí. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I'm serious. So, one thing we can say about this is this person is not from my neck of the woods. No es de mi zona, right? I think that's something we can say. My camera's going out of focus, so I'm trying to make it focus again. Focus, camera, focus. Y por favor, no seáis esta gente que dice focus. Focus? Really? Fóllanos. Hey! Wow. Very subtle, muy sutil. Focus. Focus? Really? Wow, it sounds like an orgy then. If it's us, nosotros? Wow. What kind of plan you got going on? Vamos a mirarlo. Fo. Todos ¿sabéis decir fo? Como foca, focus. Foca. Una foca. Focus. Si no, concentrate y ya está. Esa, hasta niveles altos les cuesta bastante. All right, folks, let's focus on today's Say What soundbite, and we'll see what we can come up with here. Is everybody ready? Here it is for the first time.
These two just controlled games. We played in the Champions League against these guys twice, man, and they took my soul.
Yeah.
They were just like, they suffocated us. They controlled the pace of the game.
Wow, I think we could have done without the dramatic music. Podríamos vivir sin ello. We could have done without the dramatic music, but it doesn't really distract. You can still hear what the person is saying. Believe me, it's something I'm always conscious of. And if not, I try and give you a hand too. But also remember, in life, there's background noise, lots of it. All right, here we go, my amigos. I'm going to give it to you again. I don't think it's hard to understand what this person is saying right here in this clip. But if you watch this person speak or listen to this person speak for about 5 minutes, if you're like me, you'll catch about 80% of what the person is saying. All right, here he is for the second time.
These two just controlled games. We played in the Champions League against these guys twice, man, and they took my soul.
Yeah.
They were just like, they suffocated us. They controlled the pace of the game.
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer, or football as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace. Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah, wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así de gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damián, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
vaughantienda.com.
It's the shit. That's right, amigos. It's the shit, que no significa que es mierda. Eso sería it's shit. Esto es la bomba. This is the shit. La bomba. All right, well, folks, you can pick that up at Von Tienda, where you can also get the material we looked at in our pop quiz, which we're going to look at right now. It's Conversaciones in English, and it's available at Von Tienda, along with many other fine materials. All right, let's see. Sofía says, cheers, cheers. Eso es muy inglés, ¿eh? Porque yo me acuerdo de cuando me lo dijeron la primera vez, cuando viví en Europa por primera vez. I remember I was working at a bar, un pub irlandés, and I was teaching too. And basically, I remember I used to mate, can I get 2 pints of lager? First, we just say 2 pints of beer, but they say lager, which is rubia. Can I get 2 pints of lager, mate? And I'm like, yeah, sure, here you go. I understood that part. Hasta ahí bien. And then they were like, cheers, mate. And I'm like, I don't have a glass. No puedo hacerte un brindis. Pero claro, para ellos, cheers es gracias. See? We don't speak the same language, mates. Oh, and in my country, your mate is the person you procreate with. Yeah? Right? Animals mate, procrear. So a little bit different in English there. All right? Let's see. Laura is participating in our pop quiz. I expect nothing less from this superstar. And she says, I need to dive into the author's biography before writing my essay about him. Yes. Perfect. I need to dive into the author's biography. To dive in, tirarse de cabeza, right? Meterse en algo plenamente. Another way we can say this idiomatic expression is to jump in with both feet. To jump in with both feet, right? To dive in. Same idea. Te tiras, no, sin mirar hacia atrás. Zambullirse, right? And it's an interesting word because it's both regular and irregular. So it's dive, dove, que no es dove, by the way. O sea, aunque se escriba igual, la paloma blanca es dove, como el jabón. Aunque se escriba igual, vamos a decirlo junto. The dove dove, se zambulló, ¿no? But in the United States, a lot of times we say dived as well. So I would say I would never say I skydove. Es que yo no, me suena raro. Yo diría I skydived. Hice paracaidismo. But then I would say she dove into the... It's interesting. It's both regular and irregular. O sea, no puedes fallar con el verbo dive. También a dive es un bar de mala muerte. Man, why do you always take me to dives? Right?
Ahí tenemos un double trouble y lo acabo de apuntar. Thank you, Laura. Even though it's not the one I'm looking for, but it's perfect. So I need to dive into the author's biography before writing my essay about him. Great. And you used another word that was in the audio, essay, ensayo. The next one. I stayed up late last night and now I'm really tired. Perfect. Y fijaos, la D se une con el up. Did you? Did you stay up late last night? Yeah, I stayed up. Stayed up. I stayed up late last night. Okay? I stayed up. It's interesting because if you look at the word, you would say I stayed up late last night, but that just sounds weird. It sounds much more normal to say I stayed up. So think of phrasal verbs. They go together like rama lama lama. So yeah, you know what I mean? I stayed up. Digo conmigo. Did you stay up? Yeah, I stayed up. I stayed up. So it's another way of saying me mantuve despierto. No fui a la cama, right? You can also stay out. What time did you stay out till last night? Oh, I stayed out. Otra vez la D con el out. I stayed out late last night. Me quedé por ahí. Okay? So lots of, hey, I might look at stay. I don't think it's on my list of verbs for FYI, which, by the way, we're going to be looking at the verb give on this week's FYI episode. You can get my weekly podcast wherever you get your Vaughn podcasts. It's For Your English. And right now we're taking a look at the essential verbs in the English language. All right. So great job. All right. And the last one, Laura says, I have to meet the deadline to hand in my essay. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, yes, yes. To hand in. Okay. Y to hand out, distribuir. Remember this one. The teacher handed out, fijaos, did out. Otra vez, la de unimos cosas. The teacher handed out the homework and we handed it in. Difícil esa, eh? We handed it in to the next day. So handout. And a handout is también una ayuda. Piénsalo. I'm sick of everybody getting free handouts. Well, free es redundante. Handouts, cosas gratis, toma. No? Handouts. Great, great. I can do an episode on hand, too. Give me a hand, right? No, not that. Give me a hand. Give me a hand. Échame un cable. Échame una mano. Bueno. I'm going to write that down. Stay and hand. And I'm going to add them to my list, folks. And any other verbs that you guys think we should look at, don't write them now, just not to mix things. But you can contact me on social media and say, hey, Alberto, is the verb work on your list? And maybe it is and maybe it isn't. But let me know, because in the end, I'm thinking we're going to do 3 seasons of essential verbs, because there are enough essential verbs to do 3 seasons, because there are 30 episodes in each season. So 90 essential verbs inside and out. I think it's great. All right, let's take a look. We've got Chris Valrol. She's participating as expected. And she says, I dived into the ins and outs of diet to be a better professional. Yes, great. Then Chris says, you stayed up late. Stayed up. Si no cogemos nada de aquí, es como se une. You stayed up late last night, and now you can't get out of bed. That's right. Well, I didn't. If late is 9:30, yo a las 10. Guys, I'm an old man. Also, I have a kid. We don't stay up late when you have a kid because, well, my daughter is up at the crack of dawn ready to rock and roll. And I don't ever want to be, well, you know, maybe I'm a little slow pre-coffee, but then I catch up to her. I'm like, come on, let's rock and roll. I don't want to be that dad, like, oh, Lara, I'm sleepy. Leave me alone. No, Daddy, let's rock and roll. All right, let's do this. But you got to get a good night's sleep. ¿Te sabes esa? Dormir bien, tener una noche de sueño buenísima. We say, I hope you get a good night's sleep, con apóstrofe. I got a good night's sleep last night. Tomorrow we have to leave first thing in the morning, a primera hora. So get a good night's sleep. Apúntatelo si no te lo sabías. So, great. And Chris, the ins and outs, los pormenores. That's another one I learned recently in Spanish. See, we're all learning together here. If don't ever mistake that. I'm learning as much as you are. Okay, not English, but I also learn things in English. I'm like, oh, mira, fíjate, esa palabra viene de ahí, nunca lo... So I'm learning English stuff too. Of course I am. Let's see. And the last one, I have to hand my report over before 3 o'clock. All right, hand over. The only thing to hand over is entregar, pero casi porque tienes que como cederlo. So hand it over. That is that. Sir, you have an illegal weapon. Hand it over. Eso es entrégalo a la fuerza. It's great. Por eso estamos mirando esto. Y vaya si hand tiene mucha chicha, ¿eh? So hand it over. Mira, fíjate el ejemplo aquí in word reference. The police officer persuaded Taylor to hand the knife over. Entrégalo, pero no a la fuerza. Hand it over. Great. Hey, también yo no especifiqué, así que por eso, right? Entregarlo no a la fuerza es to hand it in. To hand it over is no deberías tenerlo. All right? But great. Those are exactly the nuances I wanted to look at when we look at these different words over here. All right. Anybody else have something to say about our pop quiz? All right. So I stayed up late. I got a good night's sleep. Hemos aprendido estas cositas. How do we say dormilón? Do you know this one? Sleepyhead. Wake up, sleepyhead. Esta me encanta, sleepyhead, right? Well, nobody had the one I had in mind, even though to dive in is perfect. The one I had in mind here was to read up on. Es interesante porque no es upon, la preposición upon, es read up on. Dos preposiciones ahí. So, a lot of people, el ejemplo que usé antes, por eso Kyle lo hizo en su programa también. Because there were elections recently, people were reading up on the American election process because it's very different than the Spanish one, right? So to read up on, profundizar, investigar, aprender más sobre algo. To dive in, tirarse de cabeza, same kind of idea, but to read up on just means, piénsalo, voy a leer más sobre ello. Right? Voy a enterarme más sobre ello. And remember, the verb read is irregular. So every day I read up on current events. Leo, me investigo, profundizo en la actualidad. Yesterday, your turn. Yesterday I read up on. Fijaos como lo uno también. Read up on. No es read up on. Dilo conmigo. Yesterday I read up on. Okay? Lo que sea. Da igual. La parte que estamos practicando es el to read up on. And lately, últimamente, cuéntamelo. Lately, I've read up on politics, por ejemplo, or religion, or anything. Estudiar más sobre ello. Wonderful job. All right, let's see. We've got Laura. Laura, she's got something to say about our Say What soundbite. Let's see what she has to say. Oh, also, guys, a little surprise. You know, I like to give you little surprises, especially, you know, to my show with No Namers. You know, I love you guys so much. I just shared a link, and I have a master class I'm doing this Saturday at 10 a.m. You're invited. Just follow that link. It's in the chat here, and I'd love to have you. Me encantaría que te pasaras a las 10 el sábado al master class que hago en internet. All right? Check it out. You've got the link there in the comments, and that's just another way of saying thank you. anytime I can offer you guys some extra stuff, I do. I do that. All right. And that's just, again, a token, una muestra, a token of my appreciation. All right. Laura says, I heard a British soccer player. Can I read it? If you mind if I read it in my imitation of him? I'm going to try and imitate him when I read it. All right. I'm sure it's a little bit off, but let me try. All right, Laura? I heard a lot of times say, come lache. I heard a British soccer player explaining how he suffered during a Champions League game as the guys from the other team took his soul. I just turned Australian. No sé cómo he ido de Manchester a Australia. Wow. We just covered the whole planet there. So I'll read it in my normal voice. I heard a British soccer player explaining how he suffered during a Champions League game as the guys from the other team took his soul. They suffocated his team and controlled the pace of the game. Yes. Awesome. Chris Valrol says, I heard a British man. I'll do it in my accent. Si no, voy a cambiar a australiano otra vez. I heard a British man who seems to be a football player, correct? Or whatever related to soccer. No, he's a soccer player. He mentioned the Champions League and something that touched his soul. He also makes reference to the pace of the game. Great job. Good ear, ladies. Laura says, I had to pull an all-nighter to meet the deadline and hand in my assignment on time. Were you looking for a totally native? Because now you got it. To pull an all-nighter. Esto es estar toda la noche sin dormir. Usually it's when you're studying. Oh, you can go out when you're going out too. Piensa, to pull an all-nighter, great vocabulary, means I'm not going to bed. Not tonight. Let's see. Chris says, but I don't really know what he's talking about. All right, well, I can tell you. No problem. Let me give you some context here. He's talking about two of the most famous and talented, gifted Spanish. No, they're Spanish, but I think they're two of the most talented, gifted soccer players in the world. And they made his life, because he was on the opposing team, they made his life a living hell. And those two footballers, and you guys know I'm a madridista here, but las cosas como son, are Xavi and Iniesta. So he's referring to, wow. I mean, hello. If you don't love Xavi and Iniesta, you don't love football. Because I don't care that they were culés for life. Don't care. Just loved them. I'm so honored I got to see them play. And this guy, who's another famous footballer, is recounting how much they made him suffer. That's a compliment. Es un cumplido, eh? All right, folks, I can't believe it, but we've got to go to a quick commercial break. Time is flying by here on the show with no name. We've got a lot of stuff to cover when we come back. We're going to take a look at our homophones. We've got our Say What soundbite for the third time. We've also got our spelling bee, Double Trouble, Name That Lyric, Name That Movie, and so much more. So, stick around. Ow. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's an honor and a pleasure that you have chosen to learn English with me. Some crazy guy. I'm crazy, but I think you have to be a little bit. What is normal anyway? Is normal what I see out there? Because then I don't want it. No thanks. All right, folks. Well, just a quick reminder. You are blessed. Honestly, I believe that. Blessed, bendecidos. Because you have some of the greatest English teachers, not in Spain, in the world, at your disposal. Here on Vaughn Radio. And I mean that. I'm talking about Jimena Holiday and Test Your English. I'm talking about Rob and Andy and the Lunchtime Show. I'm talking about Let's Get Random with Jules Linares. I'm also talking about Speak Up with Ruby. Talking about crazy, wacky like me. That's why we get along. Por eso nos llevamos tan bien. It's Dave Boys and the Salad. After that, you've got a classic here on Vaughn Radio. Killing me out with his fingers. Kyle Miller, host of The Drive Time Show, author of Business English. After that, you've got one of our newest shows, Chris Frank and Frankly Speaking. And in the mornings, you've got the Pro Bow Show with Rob Grams. No Excuses with Fitz. And don't forget about Richard Vaughn. Oh, and I know I'm leaving someone out. Who could it be? Who could it be now?
Guess who's back?
Back again.
Yes, he's back.
Tell a friend.
Yes is back. 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 That's right. The Hour to Empower with Jessica Fernandez is back on Vaughn Radio.
All right, are you ready? Because it's time for Homophones on the Show with No Name.
Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, it's homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It's Homophones, where we look at tricky words that may or may not sound the same. We'll find out in a moment. The first word you use in Spanish, you do not pronounce it anywhere near. Aquí tienes la pista. You do not pronounce this word anywhere near the way we pronounce it. And the word is bus. Bus. Autobús, bus. Right? Now, it also means llevar, ¿no? Mandar gente en bus, que lo veremos, es un verbo regular. Entonces, llevaron gente en bus al estadio, también es eso. O sea, we can verbify it. ¿Lo sabíais? It also means limpiar una mesa. It's got several meanings. Because you've got the waiter, you've got the bartender, el de la barra, the waiter, and then you've got the no te puedo decir la palabra because his name has that word in it. Okay, and that's the person who clears the table. You know, that's the person who makes room, and it's kind of like the waiter's helper. Okay, so ese verbo también es limpiar la mesa para que pueda venir el próximo plato. Okay, and the second word is another rich word. It's zumbido. It's like a humming sound. Zumbar. También es alboroto, right? Hay mucho alboroto sobre tal cosa. It's also, si queremos decir, dame un toque, one way to say is, give me a esta palabra. It's also un corte de pelo. A cut es rapado. Bueno, rapado con un poco, ¿no? Que hay un poquitín ahí, como militar, I would say. Okay. And wow, it's got a lot of meanings. Oh, and it's Mr. Lightyear's first name. That's right, Mr. Lightyear. All right. Oh, y si añadimos off, significa esfúmate, lárgate. So both very, very rich words. What are the words? And do these two words sound exactly the same or not? All right. Also, I've got to give you today's Say What soundbite, talking about Xavi and Iniesta. And here it is for the third time.
These two just controlled games. We played in the Champions League against these guys twice, man, and they took my soul.
Yeah.
They were just like, they suffocated us. They controlled the pace of the game.
¿Quieres estar al tanto de todas nuestras promociones en la Vaughan Esfera? Well, now you can be in the loop. Puedes estar al tanto. Puedes enterarte de ofertas, novedades y eventos. Y mucho más. Puedes encontrar todo eso en grupovaughan.com/cursos destacados. Eso es, en grupovaughan.com/cursos destacados. Ahí tendrás toda la información de última hora. Guárdalo como favorito. grupovaughan.com/cursos destacados. And stay in the loop.
That's right. Stay in the loop. Mantente al día with everything going on in the Vaughn world. All right, amigos, we've got to take a look at our homophones. You got your Say What soundbite there, and then we're going to do our spelling bee. Let's take a look over here. Laura says it's very thoughtful of you. Laura? It's very thoughtful. Es como decir, vaya detalle. Eres muy detallista, I think. No es que eres pensamiento, you know. Thoughtful is has pensado en los demás, right? Has pensado en otros. So usually it's something we say. There are two things you can say when someone gives you a gift. Cuando alguien te da un regalo. As Laura just pointed out, that was very thoughtful of you. Or that was very thoughtful. And the other one is, oh, you shouldn't have. No tenías que haberlo. You know, eso es más, claro, lo agradeces, pero, oh, you shouldn't, no tenías que molestarte. You shouldn't have. So, tienes dos opciones. Y claro, el que siempre vale, thank you very much. I appreciate it. So, wow, great vocabulary, Laura. And Chris also says, thank you. My pleasure. I know you will make the most of whatever content you get. Cristina says also, Xavi and Iniesta considered not only great players, great or some in the pantheon of the greatest. I think not great, the greatest ever to play the game in those positions. I mean, I don't hear too many people who will argue that. And she uses a totally native, but also good eggs. Well, I have my opinions about that. The reason I say is it seemed like Xavi was a good egg. But lately, as his career went on, he talked more and more, talking smack or talking shit. Not so much. He became more controversial. And you can just ask Barcelona and Laporta. That did not end well. So it's what I always say. You're paid to kick the ball, not to talk. Don't talk. No one wants you to talk. I'm paid to talk. You're paid to kick a ball. You just kick the ball. Now, of course, many of them end up being announcers, or as we call them, sportscasters. But the one who has, you want to talk about a good egg, buenísimo vocabulario, Chris, Iniesta. There's not one interview of this guy raising his voice, losing his cool, talking bad about the referees or another team, not one. Xavi was like that for a while, but then, I guess I imagine what happens is it hurts your ego. Te duele el ego. You know, you're the king of the world, greatest footballer in the world, but now people don't watch you because of your football, because you're retired. So now you got to attract attention in another way. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just trying to put myself in their shoes, but nobody will disagree with that statement. Xavi and Iniesta, probably in the ideal team forever. Okay, I mean, like if you look at the history of football, I would put them in the starting 11. Definitely. No doubt about it. And remember, we had Xabi Alonso, Luka Modric, Toni Kroos in these positions, but the chemistry, and then you had Puyol. It wasn't just them, but anybody who knows a little bit about soccer, the brain, el cerebro, is the midfield, right? Because they're the connection between the defense and the offense. So that's where the plays happen, las jugadas. It's where the brains, el cerebro del campo viene. So, and they were, wow, not just brains, but they didn't just have that vision, tengo que ponerlo ahí, but they made it look amazing. So they were very tactical, but they didn't look tactical. They made it exciting. Don't you miss those guys? I miss them as footballers. Let's see. Laura gives us the two words, the two homophones, or not homophones, and she says they're not homophones. No way, dude. No freaking way. Bueno, ella no ha puesto eso. Chris says they are not homophones. Oh, so it seems like I can't fool you, huh? All right, well, let's hear them. Bus. Okay? Bus. It's an S sound, and it's a short bus. No es bus. I've heard bus, claro. Vosotros, si lo decís a la española, es bus. Pero en inglés, it's bus. Me recuerda la expresión to throw somebody under the bus, venderle, joderle. Man, I can't believe you threw me under the bus like that. Es una expresión bastante común hoy en día, You threw me under the bus. Piénsalo, tengo que explicarlo. Me tiraste debajo del autobús. O sea, me jodiste la vida. Traducción, I'm screwed. Thanks to you. To throw someone under the bus. We also said to bus is a verb. They made people park in a separate parking lot, and they bussed them to the stadium for traffic purposes. To bus, llevar en autobús. Right? Algún sitio. The bus boy, que pueden ser chicas también, entonces ahí se puede decir busser, B-U-S-S-E-R. A busser is the person that helps the waiter. They bus the tables for the waiter. Okay? Now, if you do it at your house, you're clearing the table, but specifically in a restaurant, it's called bussing the tables. Okay? And it's a busser who does that, okay? Just to give, porque ya sabes la palabra, pues ya que estamos, que sepas que tenga otros significados también. And that other word, buzz, do they sound the same? Voy a decir, dame un toque cuando estés en el autobús, el subjuntivo. Pero lo he pillado. Dame un toque cuando estés en el autobús. Give me a buzz when you're on the bus. Give me a buzz when you're on the bus. They are not homophones. Great job. Let's look at this word buzz. So hear the difference? The first one, bus. The second one, buzz. Un poco más largo el sonido vocal y es zzz al final. Okay? So the first one, buzz. Do you hear that buzz? There's like a buzzing sound. Un zumbido. Yeah, maybe it's the fridge. What is that buzzing sound? I don't know, but there's a lot of buzz around the American elections. Alboroto, habla, chismoreo, ruido, emoción. There's a lot of buzz, revuelo around it, right? Also, if you are buzzed, it means you're colocado, tienes un mareo. It's not so much drunk. Oh, man, I had 2 beers and I'm buzzed. I got a buzz. O sea, otro significado. Estoy como con el puntito, ¿no? Buzz es como, when you have, you're like, oh, esto es el punto donde debo parar. That's how I feel. I feel like, nobody likes a drunk person. But if you got a buzz, if you had a beer or two and you're like, you're más como contentillo. So it says here, Susie gets a buzz from just 1 glass of wine. She's what we call a lightweight. Also, give me a buzz. I'm going to give you a buzz later. Te doy un toque. Give me a buzz. Give me a shout. Give me a holler. Give me a ring. ¿Quieres más formas de decir? Dame un toque. What else? To buzz your hair. Bzz, cortar el cabello, rapar. Esquilar, si es un animal, right? And a buzz cut is like a military cut. And if I tell you buzz off, quita buzz y pon fuck. Fuck off, que te den. Pues igual. Vete a tomar viento. Go fry asparagus. Que no, esa no la decimos. Pero me encanta. Nosotros sí que decimos, oh, go fly a kite. You recognize it? Mary Poppins. Let's go fly a kite up to the highest heights. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a winner here in our Say What soundbite. It's lovely Laura. Great job. Great job and wonderful job also in our homophones. But it's time to move on to our spelling bee. Spelling bee. You hear the buzz? There's buzzing in the background. Listen. Bees buzz. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. All right, I'm adding extra buzzes.
You are listening to The Show with No Name on Vaughn Radio.
And this is round one of our spelling bee here, amigos. And the other day we went to New York, right? Well, we're going back. There's a lot to see, folks. We could go back to New York 365 days of the year and do something different every year. Laura, you know what I'm saying. I know it because your daughter lives there. You literally do not have to get bored in New York. Now, you do need some money. There are free things to do, and when I lived there, believe me, I knew them all. But you do not. Boredom is not an option in New York City. You don't have to. You could do something different every day of your life. I know a producer, a theatrical producer, and he works in New York a lot. He, to do business over there. And he tells me, Alberto, when I go to New York, I eat out every night. Now, he's got money. Como acabo de decir, tienes que tener pasta. He's well-to-do. He's a successful theater producer. And he said, well, you know why? Because where else in the world can I have an authentic French meal one night, the next night have an authentic Ukrainian meal, and the next night have an authentic Vietnamese meal? And he said, only in New York, really. He's like, obviously there are other cities that are that international, but man, New York is also very close to Madrid, if you think about it. Like, think of the whole world. Porque Nueva York está lejos. Piensa en California y ahora piensa lejos. So New York is also a hop, skip, and a jump. Está al ladito en cuanto a viajar por avión, evidentemente. So we're going to New York today. Are you ready? Oh, yeah. As I said before, there's a lot of background noise. That's the way it goes. You don't know how many times when I'm talking to a friend in New York, and they're like, yeah, so, I'm heading to work now. Woo, 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 woo. And you hear sirens, you hear people talking, you hear horns beeping. It's a crazy city. Crazy in a good, sometimes good, sometimes bad way. All right, are you guys ready? Let's capitalize the first letter of every word. Oh, and you're going to have an ordinal number here. Okay? An ordinal number. Okay? Así que you're going to have a couple ordinal numbers. Okay? So I'm just warning you so you're ready for them. All right. The first one is M-O-M-A. The second one is M-I-D-T-O-W-N space M-A-N-H-A-T-T-A-N. The next one is 53rd space S-T-R-E-E-T. The next one is B-E-T-W-E-E-N space 5th space ampersand space 6th space A-V-E period. The next one is L-I-L-L-I-E space P period space BLISS. And the last one is MARY space QUINN space SULLIVAN.
¿Qué tiene que ver la Universidad de Oxford con Vaughan? Pues muchísimo. Es una alegría anunciar que Vaughan ha sido certificado como centro examinador de Oxford Test of English. A partir del próximo mes de marzo 2023, podrás hacer los exámenes de Oxford Test of English en los centros de Vaughan. Si quieres más información sobre esta iniciativa de Vaughan y Oxford, puedes ver más en nuestra página web, grupovaughan.com. O bien síguenos en redes sociales para más información. Oxford Test of English con Vaughan.
Brilliant!
It is brilliant, and you can get more information about preparing your Oxford Test of English with Vaughan. Just go to grupovaughan.com/cursos destacados. All right, let's see. Did anybody get these? I'm checking the group here, and nobody has gotten them on the first go. No puedo hablar. On the first go. Well, it's all that background noise. It's driving me crazy. Honestly, I've got to say, where I live now, it's dead silent in the night. I'm serious. The exact opposite of New York City. In fact, now I think about it and I'm like, how the hell did I live in Seoul? How the hell did I live in Chelsea? How the hell did I live in La Latina, Lavapiés, Callao? It's a constant buzz in the background. Mira, ahí tienes el buzz in the background. Wait. Hang on a second, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like we might have a winner on our hands. This is unbelievable. All right. The first one is correct, Laura. Oh, and Laura also says, I couldn't agree more. You never get bored in New York. No way. There's no way to get bored in New York. All right. Or as we say, para usar la expresión, never a dull moment. Nunca un momento aburrido. In fact, you need to look for, I remember I used to go to the library and just try and get away from people, or Central Park, because like even when you want peace, it's hard to find it. So many people walking around, all the hustle and bustle, el ajetreo. All right, so the first one is correct, Laura. The second one is also correct. The third one is perfect. The fourth one is also correct. Here we go. The fifth one is perfect. And the last one is... No, I'm just kidding. You're like, what? Scared ya. Just want to make sure you are on your toes. Espabilada, prestando atención. We say on your toes, en los dedos de los pies. All right, and another student who is on her toes daily, and she proves it day after day. Also, give it up for Chris Valrol. Great job, Laura and Chris. I scared you, huh? You were like, oh no. All right, let me give you round 2 of our spelling bee. Here we go. The first one is M-O-M-A. The second one is M-I-D-T-O-W-N space M-A-N-H-A-T-T-A-N. The next one is 53rd space S-T-R-E-E-T. The next one is B-E-T-W-E-E-N space 5th space ampersand space 6th space A-V-E period. The fifth one, L-I LLIE space P period space BLISS. And the sixth and final one is MARY space QUINN space SULLIVAN. Folks, we have got to go to our final commercial break. I can't believe it. Time flies when you're having fun, amigos. I hope you're having fun, and you'll continue to learn and laugh with us in part 4. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to this, the fourth and final part of the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. It's a pleasure to have you here with us today. Definitely a pleasure. And don't forget, tomorrow, we are going to rock and roll. Well, tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. If not, we're not even going to show up. Me recuerda la expresión, if it's worth doing, it's worth doing right. Te lo juro, lo aplico a todo lo que hago. Si vas a molestarte en hacerlo, hazlo bien. If it's worth doing, like if you're going to get up, get out of bed, shower, go sit in your office for 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, do it with passion, do it good. Or else maybe it's not worth doing, right? But it helps you really analyze things. If it's worth doing, it's worth doing right. It's worth doing well. All right, amigos, in this part of the show, we're going to kick off with our Double Trouble. We've got our Say What soundbite for the fourth and final time. We've got our Spelling Bee answers, famous birthdays, and so much more. And then right after this program, you've got a master class with Jimena Holiday in Test Your English, and much more. All right, it's time for Double. Sing it with me. Double Trouble. Yeah.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
That's right, folks. It's Double Trouble, only on the show with no name. And I don't think this one's going to be too tough. Again, I could be wrong, and we'll see by how many people answer and how long it takes you to answer as well. Okay, so después de haber empaquetado, no. Después de haber empatado el equipo, ¿no? El equipo empató. Después de haber empatado el equipo, coma, los jugadores se quedaron mudos. There you go. Hey, we were talking about football before. Empatar. There are two ways to say empatar, y no es la que es sinónimo para dibujar. Te doy una pista. So it's not draw. Because you can say they drew, empataron, también significa dibujaron. Could be another double trouble. De hecho, I'm going to be doing the word draw on FYI because it's sacar, right? Sacar sangre, draw, empatar, to draw up, un contrato, right? So it's a very, very rich word there, this word draw. But it's not the one we're looking for, not today. Otra forma de decir empatar. So después de haber empatado el equipo, los jugadores se quedaron mudos. There you go, my amigos. You've got to use the same word twice, as always, in our double trouble. Also, we've got our Say What soundbite for the 4th time. Laura got it already. Here it is.
These two just controlled games. We played in the Champions League against these guys twice, man, and they took my soul.
Yeah.
They were just like, they suffocated us. They controlled the pace of the game.
Listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Vaughan Town, a peaceful place where you can really learn English and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Vaughan Town, lose your fear of speaking English. If you want more information about this immersive experience, go to grupovaughan.com or give us a call, 911-385831. Lose your fear of speaking English and express yourself with clarity at Vaughan Town. More information about Vaughan Town, just go to grupovaughan.com/cursos destacados. Aside from Vaughan Town, you also have Weekend Town and a wealth of other amazing initiatives. It's all over at grupovaughan.com. Follow us on social media, and this way you'll know exactly what's going on. All right, let's see over here. Laura says, I missed a comma. Well, I missed it. So there you go. If I missed it, it's right. No lo capté. I overlooked it. Para ver una palabra, to overlook and oversee. Lo vimos. Overlook, no lo has visto. Oversee, supervisar. So no worries there. Chris says, well, it's small beer. I forgot what we were talking about, Chris. Small. I got a little bit confused. All right, no worries. Leo, hey, there he is. What's up, Leo? He says, after the team tied the score, the players were tongue-tied. Ladies and gentlemen, what an entrance. Vaya entrada. Warm up. Calienta que sales. Wow, good job, Leo. So after the team tied, or had tied, after the team had tied, y muchas veces nos comemos el had ahí, the players were all tongue-tied. And we've looked at that before, right? Have we looked at that word? I know, because it happens to me sometimes as well. So mudo. Pero también it means that, sin poder hablar, no te salen las cosas. So mudo, con los labios sellados. Also, piensa, se me ata la lengua. O sea, no puedo comunicarme bien, right? Me quedo mudo, you say. Speechless. Trabar también. Hacerse un ocho. So it's to not be able to speak comfortably or to not speak very much at all, right? So that would be what it is there. So tongue-tied. Reminds me of a song by Pink Floyd, Learning to Fly. Let me check how it goes. Learning to Fly.
I know they say something about tongue-tied. Pink Floyd lyrics. Tongue-tied and twisted, just an earthbound misfit. And you don't have the lyrics here. Thanks a lot, Google. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Can't keep my eyes from the circling sky. No puedo dejar de mirar el cielo que hace círculos, que gira. Can't keep that. Es una canción preciosa. Learning to Fly, Pink Floyd. Can't keep my eyes from the circling sky. Tongue-tied and twisted, just an earthbound misfit. Great vocabulary. Can't keep my eyes. No puedo dejar de mirar. Off. Okay. Tongue-tied. We just said it. Mudo and twisted. Retorcido. Just an earthbound misfit. Misfit, uno que no encaja. And earthbound, voy hacia la tierra. So great word. And you nailed it. Leo. Tongue-tied and twisted. Just an earthbound misfit. The video is really cool too. So after the team had tied, the players were all tongue-tied. That's today's double trouble. Remember, we said another way to say empatar is to draw, pero acuérdate que es irregular. Every summer, the team draws. Okay, empatan. Last summer, they drew. Empataron. And lately, they've drawn. All right? So it's draw, drew, drawn, and tie is a regular verb. Tied, tied. But remember, la de se une. Did you tie it? Did you tie it? Dime que sí. I tied it. No, tied. La de se une con el it. I tied it. Okay, glad. I'm glad you tied it. Okay, great job. And tie. Wow, there's another one. I don't know if I have that. Guys, today we're looking at some very useful verbs that we might see in FYI in the future. And believe me, my list is long, but I'm always adding essential verbs to my list. All right, what have we got to do? Oh, right, we've got to check our spelling bee. Great job to the ladies who nailed it. And the first word was MoMA. You recognize that? MoMA? The Museum of Modern Art. We call it MoMA. And the reason I chose this topic is A, I love MoMA. And I love New York. And today in 1929, MoMA opened to the public for the first time. Okay? I remember going there with an art class. It was great. We had an art class and the teacher took us to museums. Like, so first we would study it. Okay, this is Vincent van Gogh's, this is Monet's, whatever. So we'd study it, the what was going on, the theming, the painting style and all that. And then we would go on class trips. And imagine that. I was just like, wow, I feel lucky. I should be in school right now. And here I am at MoMA. What a great place. So it opened today in 1929. So our first word was MoMA. MoMA. The next one is Midtown Manhattan. That's where all the tourists go. That's Times Square. All right. Think of Manhattan, the island. You've all seen pictures of it. Think of it as it's pretty logically divided in three. Well, not really, five. Because you've got downtown, you've got midtown, and uptown. I don't think we can get much more logical than that. Downtown, la parte al sur, midtown, la parte en medio, and uptown, la parte al norte. Then you got also, por eso he dicho cinco, the east side and the west side. Right? Do you live on the east side or the west side? Do you live uptown? Down? Eso es con eso ya te puedes mover en Nueva York. I live on the east side, uptown. Bueno, perfecto. Ya tengo más o menos qué parte del cuadrante estás. And remember, when you get in a taxi in New York, I would not say, for example, personally, I wouldn't say if the taxi driver says, where are you going? No. Well, ¿dónde vamos? I would not say, I'm going to 11 West 53rd Street. I would never say that. It wouldn't come out naturally. 11 West 53rd Street. What I would say is 53rd Street between 5th and 6th Ave. There you go. Because there, otra vez, es un cuadrante, bueno, de la calle 14 para arriba. The south is a different story because it was settled before. But once they started to build the city up, they said, wait, let's get some order here or this is going to be chaos. But you'll see down below 14th Street, downtown, my favorite area, the streets don't make sense. They're winding streets, no serpentos, and you're like, what? But once you go above 14th Street, there's no way to get lost, really. If you know, if you don't know which way is north, just see, are the numbers going up or down, right? And if you don't know if you're on the east side or the west side, well, it'll say east 53rd, west 53rd. So what we normally do is the street it's on and then the avenues or the avenue it's on and the streets, because you can do it the other way around. It's on 5th Avenue between 53rd and 54th. See, you're just telling them exactly where you need to go. It's a little tip. So, and it helps you know, okay, entonces vamos a estar entre la quinta y la sexta en la 53. Like when people ask me where I live, I wouldn't say 221 West 28th Street. Eso era mi dirección, de verdad. I don't live there now, so it doesn't matter. 221 West 28th Street. Claro, en una carta yo ponía eso. But when I got in a cab, you know what I'd say? 28th between 7th and 8th. That's where I lived. And since 7th Avenue goes south, 8th Avenue goes north. So the odds go south and the evens go north. Los pares versus impares. So I would even say, okay, take 7th Avenue, leave me at the corner of 7th and 28th. Déjame en la esquina. Yo ya, no tienes que dar la vuelta por la octava. You see what I mean? And there you can save a little trip around the block. Okay, entonces tú ves, primero lo ubicas. Okay, está en tal. Nosotros venimos del norte, pues vamos a bajar por la séptima. O la novena. You see what I mean? But you can't go down 8th Avenue. 8th Avenue goes north, right? So knowing that, you can be really specific when you get in a cab. So the third one was 53rd Street. The fourth one was between 5th and 6th Avenues. So 5th ampersand 6th Ave, que decimos Ave, lo cortamos. And the next one, the next two are two ladies who were influential that without them, we would not be talking about MoMA today. And one of them is Lily P. Bliss. La dicha, la felicidad total. They say ignorance is bliss. Is ignorance Lizzie P. Bliss? And she was one of the leading collectors of modern art in New York and one of the lenders to what became one of the most famous shows. You can read about this. It's called The Armory Show, and it took place in 1913. A very important moment in art and especially in New York City. And the last one was Mary Quinn Sullivan, and she was also involved in the art world, and she was a founding trustee. Ooh, how do you say this in Spanish? Trustee. Es la palabra trust, pero con dos es. Trustee, administrador, fideicomisario, fideicomisaria, consejero. Ahí tienes, consejera. Trustee. El otro no lo he oído tanto. Okay. All right, let's see. We've got some comments rolling in. A small beer, poca cosa. It's a little British. I've never heard it. I have British friends. Small beer, mate. I've never heard it. Thank you, Chris. I wasn't sure what the context was when you said it. Okay, but I got you now. Small beer. But you know the British. They like big beers. In fact, they look at the caña sometimes. They're like, what's this, mate? Is this a shot? Es un chupito. They don't understand that in the summer, beer gets really warm. So you want a small one, right? And, pass the word on to the Brits. Or not. Maybe they do like their beer. Also, the kind of beer they drink is a kind of beer that's served a little warmer. Not warm, but a little warmer because of the kind of beer it is. I'm no expert here, but that's their excuse. Let's see. Laura says, I need to go now. Thank you and take care, everyone. See you tomorrow. Great, Laura. Wonderful job, as always. Leo says, a big shout out to you, Chris and Laura. Today, you are both doing a great job, as usual. BT dubs. Laura says, I used to live, right? Vivir. I used to live on 57th between 8th and 9th. Oh, wow. That's a really nice area. Right by Carnegie Hall, right? Carnegie Hall, not far from there. Well, I used to work on 6th Avenue between 57th and 58th. Yeah, I used to work right there. And I used to take the subway from 28th Street, because I lived on 28th Street. I would take it up to 59th Street, Columbus Circle, the corner of Central Park. Wow, Laura, you're bringing me some serious memories. I know exactly where you're talking about. 57th. I know 57th very well. Many drunken nights at PJ Carney's, que está on 57th and 8th. See, I still remember. I don't remember what happened in there, but I remember where it was located. All right, amigos, it's time for Famous Birthday Trivia.
Famous birthdays for you. Famous birthdays for me. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Oi, oi, oi. Birthdays for him. Famous birthdays for her. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It's Famous Birthdays here on the show with no name. And let's see what we've got for today's famous birthdays. As always, I'm going to tell you 3 people who are celebrating a birthday. And I want you guys to tell me if you know who these people are. Here we go. The first person was born today in 1983. 1983. His last name is Divino. It's a good last name. Let's see. He is a co-creator and star of the sitcom Workaholics. Also, he was in the musical films that my wife loves, Pitch Perfect. Pitch is el tono. Me. Ooh, that's the wrong pitch, right? Pitch Perfect and Pitch Perfect 2. Also, he played Andy Bailey, a recurring role in Modern Family. Also, The Intern. He's been in movies such as The Intern, El Becario, The Final Girls, Game Over Man, the Lego Batman movie, Ice Age, Collision Course, and so much more. Number 2, she was born today in 1943, a Canadian singer, songwriter, and guitarist. I think this person defines the hippies movement. The folk movement of the 60s. Look, I'll read what Rolling Stone said, one of the greatest songwriters ever. I don't really like Rolling Stone. They get too political. All Music says, this person, no casi digo su nombre, may stand as the most important and influential female recording artist of the late 20th century. We're talking about an amazing... Oh, and by the way, Chelsea, where I lived in New York, well, Chelsea Morning is based on Chelsea in New York and the Chelsea Hotel, and a very famous hotel, by the way. And Chelsea Clinton, where do you think she got her name? Chelsea Morning, Chelsea Hotel. So it's all connected to New York City, folks. That's the way it works. All right, and last but not least, this guy's name is River, but it's not River. It's River in Spanish. Y no es español, eh? But his name is River. It's weird. A former professional footballer from England. He played for the national team from 97 to 2001. He was a member of 3 FIFA World Cup squads. He started out playing for West Ham United, and then, well, he ended up in Leeds, but then his claim to fame is when he joined Manchester United in 2002. And the guy speaks a little bit like this. It's like, he's got like a weird accent. It's like, I think it sounds something like this, All right, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Valrol. Number 1, Adam Devine. Number 2, Joni Mitchell. And number 3, Rio Ferdinand, mate. Rio Ferdinand. And this is Rio Ferdinand, who he's now a commentator. Okay. And he goes, these 2 just controlled games. Controlaban los partidos. Talking about Iniesta and Xavi. We played in the Champions League against these guys twice, man. Jugamos contra ellos 2 veces, hombre. And they just took my soul. Me robaron el alma. Me dejaron sin alma. Think about that. They didn't take the ball. They took his soul. Wow. They just totally left them helpless. And we're talking about Manchester United, okay? Not Segunda B team here. And he goes, they were just like, they suffocated us. Nos sofocaron. They controlled the pace of the game, and the pace es el ritmo. Here we go. It's birthday boy Rio Ferdinand.
These two just controlled games. We played in the Champions League against these guys twice, man, and they took my soul.
Yeah.
They were just like, they suffocated us. They controlled the pace of the game.
Hi, hello, Alberto. I think the song is. No? Sorry, bye.
Name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric only on the show with no name. The show with no name, the show with no name. Name that lyric only on the show with no name. The show with no name, the show with no name. It's name that lyric only on the show with no name.
Great job, show with no namers. All right, we're going to say goodbye with a classic song by the Stones. You say Los Rolling, we say the Stones. If you want to look it up, it's called Let's Spend the Night Together. Yes, it's an indecent proposal. Well, decent if you like Mick Jagger. He says, don't you worry about what's on your mind. No te preocupes por lo que tienes en mente, lo que estás pensando. I'm in no hurry. I can take my time. No tengo prisa. Tomaré mi tiempo. Oh my, I'm going red. I'm turning red. I'm going red. Me estoy volviendo rojo. Estoy sonrojando. And my tongue's getting tied. Hey, wait a second. Y me estoy quedando mudo. We looked at tongue-tied in today's Double Trouble. Well, then you should have no difficulty following along with Let's Spend the Night Together by the Stones. Thank you so much, everybody. Stay tuned for Jimena Holiday and test your English. Ciao for now.
Don't you worry about what's on your mind.